What is up, mansion builders? I got with me Chris, the main mansion builder right here, the OG, the guy who built our mansions at Platinum Resort. And so happy to have him on today. What is up, brother?
I am happy to be here, man. It's awesome. It's my first podcast, so pretty excited, bro.
Fantastic. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about, we just built the mansions, right? We brought in a bunch of grandmas. We're doing all this stuff. You are now on our team. We actually stole you from the builder, full-time now with the mansion builder crew, and looking at all the deals across the country, right? So a lot of experience building firsthand and now taking that and helping a bunch of other people around the country.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun, too.
It is cool. It's a lot of fun, right? You get to see all the different deals, how everyone's doing it, even just weather differences between Texas and other states in the north, the south, all that kind of stuff.
Everyone has their own dysfunction, and I am learning all of those dysfunctions slowly but surely, bro.
Yeah, nice. So I wanted to go through today and talk about what are the lessons that we learned, the hard things, right? That didn't go to plan, and what did we learn about building these mansions?
There's a lot we learned, partner. We could write a book.
I probably will. So we built 2 of these 4, right? And we're pretty much building the exact same buildings in phase 2 when we come back in next year. And there's a few things that we changed along the way, and then a couple things we're going to do the next round. And so we've taken these lessons and really just compiled them to, all of our spec sheets and stuff that we have for our teams, right? Because our partners, they go and they literally build our exact same mansions. Some of them 100% the same. Some of them change it a little bit, and it's, 95% the same. But it allows for best practice for us to be able to share these things to different teams so that they don't have to go through the same school hard knocks that we have.
Yeah, that school is expensive and costly and time consuming and all of the above. So having someone that's already gone through and that can show you the route definitely makes it better and easier.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump in. So honestly, even before we broke ground, there's a lot of different steps and hoops that you have to go through. So my background, right, is in fix and flip. And so I would buy these properties and you would dive right in. We wouldn't even pull permits, right? We would just do this full gut, remodel all the different things, get it done in 4 weeks and be sneaky so the city doesn't see. But this is totally different. This is months and months of planning beforehand. The planning, this is one of the lessons I learned. The planning is like the long, painful part. And then you break ground and it's just like, boom, it just goes. It's like ding, 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 ding. And then you have this building up and it's like, wow, we just did all that.
Yeah, I can understand where I have never had to go through that process. And I haven't been on your end of it. I've always been on the end where you're just blowing and going. And
yeah.
So for me, I've never seen the slow process of getting the permits, finding the architect, getting the engineer. I'm starting to deal with that now, and I'm seeing that it is a long process to get to the shovels in the ground.
Right. It's so I think that's kind of an encouragement for people. It's all front loaded with the hard work. There's a lot of little details, but all of those little details, man, it makes everything go super fast once you break ground and those shovels hit the dirt. So that was kind of a perspective shift for me, which kind of goes along to my second thing that I want to share was just working with architects and engineers, the amount of delays that stuff has. Man, especially if you're doing a smaller project or even just a couple $1 million project, to a lot of these teams, you're still a small fish, right? They're building Walmarts and Costco's and Home Depots, and they don't want to return my call. They don't really care. I'm not at the top of their list. And so, man, architectural stuff, engineering stuff, you're like, oh, I can bang that out in 4 weeks. And then all of a sudden it's 4 months and you have half of it back. And it's like, what is going on?
It's got to be humbling too, when this is the biggest thing in your life, right? This is huge to you. You're like, man, I've made it. I'm building this big place. And they're like, yeah, you're way 16 people back because we got 14 Walmarts and 2 Targets and an HEB. And yeah, it really gives you perspective, doesn't it? Doing that and makes you understand your money too, I bet.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of a lesson that I learned, an encouragement to everyone, is to find a team, an architect team, an engineering kind of team that will prioritize you. Maybe it's somebody who's dedicated to you. Maybe it's someone who's part of a team, but they're not overbooked on all of these kind of projects. Because man, I don't know if it was just post-COVID, you had so many different people retire and a lot of architects and engineers retire. Because I couldn't get anyone even just to give me a bid or a quote on these things, a couple years ago when I'm trying to build these things. I'm like, man, I'm happy to give you money. Just shoot me an email back. I want to talk to you about my project. And I probably called 20 different architects and engineers and all those kind of people just to get a couple people who were interested in the job because everyone had too much work.
It's funny, even now with the set of plans you have and all of the upfront information that you've already created, for our teams, it's even hard to find architects and engineers now, and they actually have all the information. They don't have to design anything.
It's done
for them, and it's
right.
still hard to find.
Put your stamp on this, charge me a fee.
Yeah.
It's like too busy.
It's almost like they teach a class in engineering school on how to make things take a long time.
Bro, they're engineers.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? You have family that's engineer. You're like, hey, you sit on that side of the table at Christmas. I don't want to talk to you. Bro, you're an engineer for a reason.
Yeah, ain't no doubt,
right?
Brother. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm seeing that now. You've got all the information, and it still takes a lot of time to get it moving.
Yeah. So front-loaded with more patience than you anticipate you would need, more time. But then there's also the permits and the city. And everything's on like a 30-day rotation where it's like, they have a comment back for you, and it's like, cool, man, I can get that comment done in 2 hours. Okay, great. We'll look at it in 30 days,
yeah,
right? And if we find a totally different comment, great. We'll address that another 30 days later. It's like, man, I better get this right the next time, or else I'm going to be like into winter by the time I even have somebody look at my plans.
Yeah, that happened with septic too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was at the end of the project, right? That was like, everything else was taken care of. Septic had to change, and Brett was having to deal with all the changes, and it would literally take them 2 weeks every time you gave them new information. So,
my septic guy, I'm not trying to be funny, was literally dying. I'm not exaggerating.
God, that was
not exaggerating. And so it was like, oh my gosh, like he's in the hospital and he's in rehab, and he's like, I can't work my computer. I'm like, oh gosh, Lord help me. Like, Just tell me what to do, and I will do it. I will learn how to do your job of the septic engineer, and I will do it. And you just tell me if it's fine. And
that was tough. That was tough.
Yes.
But,
don't hire people about to pass away.
Right? Look where we're at now.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work and dedication. I would also want to tell you a word: humility. Be humble, because it's a process, man, and it's easy to not be that way. So
yeah. But you break ground, and then it's like, woof, all of a sudden you got your slab poured, and then it's like 10 days later, and you have your whole building framed up. And I think this was another big surprise to me. I spent years looking at this on paper, and like, oh, this is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be amazing. And then when we stood there, I remember looking at you, bro, and like, bro, they screwed up. It is so big. Why did they make this dang thing so big? And then you show me the plans. You're like, no, Brad, that's how it's supposed to be. I'm like, dang. We built something big. This is cool.
It's huge. And also when you've been looking at something on paper for that long, when you're actually standing on it with no walls or just maybe some exterior, it like your concept of size really goes out the door. So
yeah.
If you ever been to the Grand Canyon, and I know you have and I have, it feels like that sometimes. It's like, wow, this place is so big and I'm so small, and I've been looking on this little page. So yeah.
It's exciting, man. I just tell you, when you start walking through it and it just becomes real, it is so cool. And so, right, you get through all of the kind of paperworky kind of stuff, and then you break ground, and it's fun and it's cool, and every day is something new, right? It's like you show up on site, like, what happened today? Like all the cool stuff. And so it's a lot of exciting stuff during that time.
Yes, it is. I had a lot of fun doing it, and again. Our environment was different than what our SP environment will be, or when someone who's on our team will be. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to build. It's fun for me, it's fun to see your dream come to real life, man, and to be a part of making that happen. So yeah, really cool.
Well, so we break ground, we start getting into it. Some of the subcontractors crush it. They're just awesome. They're rock stars. And some of them are just like the most horrible nightmare time ever, right? Like we had 2 or 3 that were just like, this must be a joke. Like, you guys are so horrible that I feel like I'm getting punked.
Yeah, and it was like being punked. And a lot of times, so you have subs that want to be GCs, and that's where the term sub of a sub comes in, right? So you got a GC, he goes to a sub, the sub gives him a number, but the sub's not really planning on doing the work. He's going to hire another crew to come in and do the work. Well, now you have a rather than just going to your GC and your GC going to the sub, now the GC goes to the sub goes to his sub. And I mean, who knows how far down the line that goes. And all that is time. That's all it is.
And money.
And money, brother.
Right? This is a really big lesson I learned. Why, when I get a bid from, let's just call it my electrician, all right, if I get 3 electrician bids, why do I have 2 that are 400,000 and 1 that's 200,000? It's the exact same material. It's the exact same labor. Why is it so drastically different? And it was subs of subs of subs. This is what I learned. Man, it is so common in this game. You're going to go and just think how many middlemen you have here, right? So you're hiring, you as a developer, you're hiring your builder. Your builder has their fee on it. Then your builder has a contract with their subcontractors, right? Electrician, plumber, framer, et cetera, right? They have a contract together for a certain price. Your electrician goes and now hires out other subcontractors. Sometimes they'll do some of the things in-house, right? We'll see like our electrician, they'll do the finished stuff. They'll hang the lights, the switches, that kind of stuff. Same with the plumber. They'll put in the toilets and the shower and stuff, but they're not going to do the rough stuff, the stuff underground, the stuff behind the wall. They'll sub out that work. And then so some of those times we've seen those subs sub out that work even further.
Yep.
And it's like, you know why it takes so long to get a bid? Is because you're going to go to your GC, they're going to go to the plumber's going to go to their sub, that sub's going to go to their sub, and it's 5 people down the line. And so it's like, hey, I need a price for this, and then they add their fee onto it, so it's maybe 30, 40, sometimes 50%, right? Now that comes back to the sub of sub, and then they add their fee on it, and then it goes back to the builder, he adds his fee on it, and it's like, man, that's how I can get to double the bids. There's no additional materials or labor in there. It's literally just middlemen having profit along the way.
Another thing that goes along with that you have to consider, and anyone out there that's doing anything like this. So starting at the GC, there's a level of quality.
Mm-hmm.
You get down to the sub, I know you're not going to understand this, but the quality is not the same as, actually, if you really start with the owner has an expectation of quality. GC tries to accomplish that expectation of quality. When you get down to the sub, he's trying to make a GC happy, not necessarily an owner. If he hires a sub, oh my God, the quality, because you got to think, he's like, right, I'm trying to get you as cheap as I can. So I'm going to hire whoever's going to do it for this dollar amount, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, that dollar amount doesn't bring the same quality that the GC dollar amount that you're paying for is demanding. And when you're having to deal with a sub of a sub, getting your GC to reprimand or to correct a poor quality situation becomes 3-4 times as hard, because now it's 3 or 4 times down the line to a person who actually did the work. So overall, it's a horrible, horrible system.
So when I said that we had like 3 or 4 subcontractors that were horrible, it was kind of this lesson, right? Like, absolutely. There was nobody responsible for the work that we were paying for, because it was just middleman to middleman to middleman. Yep. And it was like, who's actually doing this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we even today, I'm not bringing up any subs names, but we had a product that was installed improperly. It has caused a problem in one of our rooms. I pull it apart and find out that it was installed improperly, and the person that was responsible for it says, "Oh, I didn't buy that product. That's not my responsibility." But you're the guy who installed. Your guy came out and put it in, right? He doesn't care. He's got an out, and that's basically what we're talking about here. It's just not a good system. Yeah. You want to try and maintain GC sub integrity as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, that actually transitions into one of the other lessons that I learned along the way. And it's being so thorough with picking your material. And our mansions are done, and they are the most gorgeous things that I could think of, right? You can make your own mansion as gorgeous as you like. And you can actually go on Platinum's website, right? PlatinumResortAssistedLiving.com, hit the virtual tour, walk through the Berry Springs mansions to see what we're talking about.
Please do. It's awesome.
It is amazing. But, okay, so many little details. And when I say so many, I mean, I don't know, hundreds of hours of Laura diving in, doing so much research, picking every little detail, right? And when you're going, and you're going every couple days to see the building, right? It's like, oh, this is so exciting. And it's like, oh, what changed? There are so many little things that if you don't ahead of time plan for, like, for example, the exit signs, right? Like, I want beautiful, like, exit signs. I have this gorgeous multi-million-dollar building, right? I don't want this like $14. What's the cheapest version of this exit sign that I can get?
Red, ugly things sitting in the ceiling,
right? Because whoever installed, let's say it's your electrician, right? They charge you for whatever these things are, right? Your egress lights, your exit signs, and they charge you not a small amount of money. And then they try and go find what's the cheapest version that I can get in that accomplishes the code, right?
Yep.
So I want to go through ahead of time and I want to plan literally every single thing. Do I want my exit sign red or green? What kind of lights do I want on it? All the different things. Because a lot of these commercial components, man, they're so ugly. They're hideous. And you put them in this gorgeous building. It's like, bro, like I literally paid extra a bunch of times. Take that crap out. Throw it in the trash, and I will buy this. I want you to put it in.
And you literally did that. I know for a fact because
Yes.
I seen the old
And they're all
stuff.
sitting in our shed. I'm like, we'll just throw this crap away. Like, I don't want this, right? Like, gorgeous product. I need every aspect of this to be gorgeous.
Tell you how bad it is. I called the electrician and was like, hey, that stuff's still in the shed. You want it? Nah, y'all keep it. This guy. So,
you know why I said that? Because he already charged me for it.
I know, right? But he didn't
charge
want
Brett
it for
double,
free.
right? Like, dude, I don't care. I'm not having that crap in my building.
And the building's beautiful. The extra time and a little bit of extra money, definitely, it was worth it, I believe.
Absolutely. So gorgeous and it's fun, but you have to be prepared. What building new construction is, it's so much preparation on the front side, and then it's just go, 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 and it flies through. And so all the little details have to be dialed in.
Absolutely. Having them up front really helps. And again, you might, with material chosen by subs, it's just like Brett just told you, they're going to meet the minimum code and they don't care what it looks like. They're not going to be in there. They don't care. So they're like, oh, this is great. It meets code. But no, if you want something beautiful, it takes a little bit of extra money, and Brett was willing to spend it. So, hey.
Yeah. The other thing that I would say was a lesson learned is time is money. And for us, it got to the point where near the end of the project, it was like $1,200 a day in interest payments for us. And we'll have subs delaying, right? They're like, there was subs that for one reason or another were not coming out. They weren't getting paid on time, or there was some other situation. Their materials are not ordered properly. They're trying to save $100 here, $100 there by not ordering materials in a timely fashion. And I looked at them like, bro, you just cost me like $5,000 in time delays. I don't care. Get your butt out here. I will pay you whatever difference it is. And that's time is money, right? Every single day had a dollar sign to me, and I knew exactly how much that time was. And there were plenty of people I offered extra money, get your butt out here and finish the job in a timely manner. And so, especially when you're going near the end of the job, man, you gotta balance these things. In the very front of the job, it was like, it wasn't very much interest at all. I was paying a couple grand a month the first couple months in interest, but then it started creeping and creeping, and then it started snowballing, right? And it gets bigger and bigger at the end of the project. So you got to push hard at the end. Make sure all your subs are showing up. Make sure all this punch list stuff. At the end, you are not their priority, right? They've gotten 90% of the money already.
That's exactly.
They're on to the next job. They are trying to get the bulk of the next job's money. I need them here to finish this punch so that I can get my license, I can open up, and all those kind of things. Because, man, you know what? You get costs. It costs so much money at the end of the project.
Thinking about time, it's funny how you always worry about it at the end of the job, right? When I jumped on the job for you, I was instantly in that mindset. And I know you remember me many a day being up to my knees in water, pumping water. That was because I knew at the end of that project, we were going to be looking for those days that we missed at the front. Because while they were cheap at the front, or cheaper, that's a relative term. Yeah. Man, they were not cheap at the end. And it makes stress. It puts a lot of it ages you, bro. It does. It
right.
you old
I
quick.
used to be blonde and not silver.
Yeah, that's what it used to be. So, and I used to be, I was always gray.
Yeah. You used to have hair.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, yeah, man, the time is money thing is probably never more relevant than at the end of a project when you're trying to get this thing closed out, get people in it, and start making money in those buildings.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Well, this is something that we experienced together, and it was phenomenal. And so now you are coming in, helping dozens of our other teams, looking at literally every single project, going through, looking line item by line item. Can you just tell and share with people, how are you helping all of our partners go through and build their mansions?
Well, to start with, I get to see everyone's property. Like I get an address, I get a due diligence form. They answer a bunch of questions on the due diligence form, which is basically deal killers. I I get to see location. I get to see if there's utilities available. I get to help them decide whether a well is appropriate for their property. I get to look at placement of buildings. I get to look at surrounding areas. I get to learn about HVAC and impart that to other people in the same region. A lot of people that we work with, they're not construction people. I'd say 99% of them are not construction people. So every question is pertinent to them. And every question for me is so fun to answer. I get to watch them accomplish purchasing a piece of property, designing a civil plan. I get to help them with that civil plan. And man, it's so rewarding for me to do that all over the country. I mean, I can't believe we're building this place. What is it, like 16 states now, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah,
so,
mansions all over the country.
oh man, they're going to be beautiful everywhere. So yeah, it's a lot of fun for me, Brett.
It is. It's cool, and it's not an easy thing, right? That's why we brought you on. You have very unique experience because you built these with almost your bare hands, right? To be able to come in and say, here's the lessons, right? Let's go through and let's dial this in for you, and it makes the difference, right? It's how our teams are able to really shortcut this process and bridge the gap because there's so many different things you have to know. And you can't really just become a construction expert, but you are, right? And you can come in and help them with their project.
So how long would you say your front load was time-wise as far as getting to the point where you put a shovel in the ground?
Man, I don't know, 3 years probably?
Yeah, that's what I figured. It's probably gonna be about 3 years for you.
Yeah.
One of our teams, I'm not gonna mention names, but they're in Houston. They've been at it like 9 months, almost not even quite a year.
Yeah.
And they're going to, I think probably next month, they're going to be putting some shovels in the ground. So, I mean, we have literally cut the time down to a third for the teams that are coming on board. So yeah, the front load on that for you was very extensive, but I know I'm working with at least 5 people now that are under a year to get shovels in the ground.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at least.
Right. And that's, honestly,
Time is
it's
money.
so hard that it's almost like you might say, oh, it's 3 years. No, it's the difference between I can do the deal and I cannot do the deal. And I just invested 3 years of my time and then I couldn't even do it.
Right. Yeah, time is money. That's the last thing we talked about. And that 2 years saving that's a lot of money, brother. A lot of your time. What is your time worth? How much are you worth to yourself?
Yeah.
Investing into this. And so, yeah. That's what I've seen is the front load on this is cutting to a third for anyone that's really, really focusing on it. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's great, brother. I appreciate you being on with us. I appreciate all the work you do for all of our teams and helping people be able to reach their dreams. So anybody who is interested in this, I want to encourage you, hit the website, assistedlivingmansion.com. We have a bunch of free content on there, free courses. You can book a call with our team, get to meet Chris, get to work with us, come out to one of our workshops or events, and come walk our mansions, right? You can walk them virtually online, but you can come and spend some time with us in person, and we'd love to be able to meet you. So until then, I will see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
All right.
Yep.